Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from AstroladaOfficial, and these are your September 2023 video horoscopes. And September, we have 3 planets changing directions. What does it mean? Your life will change direction. 3 planets: Venus is turning direct, Jupiter is turning retrograde, Mercury is turning direct, which those 3 planets rule 6 out of the 12 houses, which means 6 areas of everyone's life will shift, will change. With 2 planets turning direct for the better, with 1 retrograde, maybe it will just change, take a different direction. Doesn't have to be negative, just an alternative direction. But 6 areas of your life will be shifting, big changes. I'm very excited. Before I start, I just want to let you know that I've compiled for you around more than 600 transits of transiting planets to natal. It's a written ebook. It's interactive. You can click on the transit you're interested in and it will take you to the text, very extensive text, what each transit means. Or you can watch your transits on my personal transit calendar, which is for free for everyone for the next 4 or 5 days always. But this book is a work of love that I've created over 4 or 5 years. Me and my teacher, we've written all the transits in depth. If you want to own it for a very small amount, it's hundreds of pages. An early bird will get a big discount of 30% on this ebook. So let's start with the horoscopes. Sun, Moon, or Rising, September 2023. The month starts with Venus turning direct after 40 days of being retrograde in your 6th house in Leo. So if there was any delays or complications with certain project at work that you've been doing, or certain, misalignments there, misunderstandings, or even difficult relationships with colleagues around, or adjustment changes with your job, well, when Venus turns direct in your 6th house, all of those come to an end, and things regarding your work, professional realizations start going according to plan, without surprises, without delays. Or if you've been working on some project behind the scenes, and editing details, putting final touches, which is also part of the 6th house, and you've been putting those efforts, now when Venus turns direct this month, you'll start seeing the results of that. Maybe you did some changes about your work. Maybe you had some realizations about your work environment, or about your work process, or just even about the place of work. Maybe you changed your work in some way. Well, Venus turns direct, and all of those things that you have to sort out, you can put them to action now, and you can see results from efforts made, or any complications get resolved. 6th house also has to do with your health and health habits. If some of you were suffering with certain conditions, physical, when Venus turns direct, they'll start resolving themselves. If there were some complications or misdiagnosis or any such kind of things, again, Venus turns direct, expect good developments there. Or if you've been working on changing your health routines, I don't know, waking up earlier, eating healthier, doing exercise or something like that. If you had some realizations about what you had to change, or you've been putting already the effort about it, when Venus turns direct in your 6th house, you're going to start seeing the results and the rewards from your actions in that direction. And of course, Venus retrograde maybe created some relationship problems and realizations. Again, everything starts to settle down when Venus turns direct, and to move smoothly, and to reap the rewards of any changes that you made, or any transformations that you did there. At the same time, on the 4th of September, Jupiter goes retrograde. Now, this time Jupiter goes retrograde for the first time and only time this year, and for the next 12 years, in your 3rd house of communications. Jupiter retrograde, it means there'll be some change in the circumstances of this 3rd house, in relationships with siblings, with relatives, with mates and friends. There can be some turnaround, some change how you see certain relationships. So in your relationships, in your social media, what groups you participate in, what kind of information you let into your mind and awareness, what kind of news you watch, what books you read. You might start reevaluating those with a more higher perspective, which Jupiter gives. and you might start questioning, should I fill my head with this information, or should I let those people close to me in my life? And those third house relationships, they're everyday friends and relatives and siblings. There can be some change there in your relationships with such people. But as well, Jupiter retrograde is about old opportunities coming back. Maybe there was some idea you were thinking on before, but you left it. Maybe there was some project that you started, written, spoken, online, something, any commercial endeavor, anything to do with using your mind, basically, is the third house that you haven't finished, or that you just thought about before, but you never got to work on it. Well, now you can get to do that. These opportunities, maybe to learn something that you've been wanting for, can come back to you. Maybe to collaborate with some associate as well might come back to you, or someone that you've done work in a team before with, it can come back to do something again, to pick up some project or to do something again. Or people from the past can start contacting you, because third house is a very social house, and Jupiter there retrograding, maybe a schoolmate or a workmate from before can get in touch with you, someone you haven't seen in a while. Also, it can be a good time to start revising not just projects with work, and because third house is very much white collar work, where you think, where you have to use your skills. We have to use, when a planet is retrograde almost till the end of the year, Jupiter 3 times more efforts. And some of the, if you're working on some project online, or business, or report, or training about something, learning some skill, you might have to put extra efforts. Things might have to will go a little bit slower, and you have to put, maybe be prepared with a bit of different plan, see things from a different perspective. Also, it can be a good time to come back to old knowledge or information or skills, to brush them up, to master them, to improve them in some way. Maybe it's that book you wanted to write for a while, or left it, or blog, or maybe third house is media. Maybe gather up some old media that you've created and make something new out of it, breathe it in new life. You can do any of those. Like, for example, when Jupiter was retrograde in my third house, I got a lot of my old videos and articles that I've written, and I made a certain complex, and I sold them as a new course. So you can do such things with things that you've already created, using your intelligence, using your skills. You can repackage them in some way. All right, so that's another way how third house Jupiter retrograde can work, or revisiting places you've used to be in before, meeting with relatives you haven't seen before for a while as well. And at the same time, Mercury, the planet that rules your seventh house, will be retrograde till the 17th, till the 15th of September in your seventh house. So that's another social house for you, Pisces, which means, again, this month, especially till the 17th, a lot of people from the past might connect with you. And the seventh house is even more personal relationship house. Maybe an ex-partner or an ex-business partner, or someone that you've collaborated with can come back. Or maybe you can hear from people you haven't seen in a while. Or maybe you can see a relationship from a different perspective, an already existing contract or agreement with someone, or existing personal or business relationship. You can start analyzing it till the middle of the month. There might be some crisis there where you decide that you don't want those people or this person, or that you bring up, or they bring up some things from the past to discuss that they're upset about, because ultimately Mercury wants to make more balanced. Mercury has energy of balancing as well. Relationships, contracts. So some contracts you might reevaluate and want to interrupt them, or some agreements with people, with clients, some relationships that you have, you might put an end to them, while others you might just communicate with them and bring up things from the past, and it might again become a little bit more critical, where there is some words said and exchange. But if there is compromise from both sides and willingness to renegotiate the terms of your relationships, it can improve much better. And by the time Mercury turns direct on the 15th, 16th onwards, you can have much better and fairer contracts, agreements, or relationships with people. And around the 17th, so already from the 15th, Mercury turns direct, but it also becomes visible. Mercury is visible very rarely in the sky because it's so close to the sun, usually only 20-30 days through the year. And this time Mercury will be visible from around the middle of the month till around the first week of October. So this is fantastic time for starting any business activities when Mercury becomes visible, news, information, letters, documents if you want to apply for. So from the middle of the month onwards, it will go very well. Or if you want to apply at a new job, or if you want to be heard when you communicate with others, because Mercury is retrograde in your 7th house the first part of the month, then, and it's invisible, so there can be, as I said, complications in relationships with others, in communicating with others, even ending certain relationships or really changing them and bringing up stuff to discuss. But when Mercury turns direct from the middle of the month and becomes visible, relationships improve so much, and then new relationships can appear. Mercury is born visible and direct in your 7th house. Someone new can appear in your life, more youthful, with more ideas, more skillful, more intelligent and capable people will be around you, and you can collaborate with them from the middle of the month, and they can help you. And that will be a great time if you want to sign any contract, but only after the 15th, 17th, especially when Mercury becomes visible. Fantastic time, the second part of the month, to collaborate with others, to ask for advice, if you have court dates, 7th house, if you have any presentations, any important communications with others, or even starting a new relationships or business partnership or signing any contracts, fantastic. But after the 15th onward, or bringing something out to the public as well, announcing something, putting some project out, wonderful from the middle of the month onwards. Of course, so these are the most important developments. This month, planets becoming Venus direct, Mercury direct, Jupiter turning retrograde, but of course Jupiter is a benefic, so it can also bring a lot of nice things with it. And most of the transits throughout the month are a lot of trines, and they affect positive houses for you. Your 7th house is very big focus this month. There is a new moon also around the 14th in your 7th house, which corresponds with Mercury turning direct and becoming visible. So something big is coming to you from others. Ask for help, you will receive it. Opportunity for some of you can mean a new love or new committed relationship, or some new opportunity being born in the appearing to you through others, or appearing to you through your in the life of your partner, for example. And this new moon has a lot of good aspects, even if there's something idealized too much at the beginning, because Neptune opposes it from your sign. But at the same time, there's trines from Jupiter, there's trines from Pluto, so it turns really good. Whatever this new opportunity comes, even if it's a bit unclear at the beginning, it turns out for the best. So that is the month for you, Pisces. I hope you can benefit, as the second part already it becomes much easier from the beginning, but there's a lot of supportive influences, and make sure you're around others, because they can be some source of important developments for you.